guys, welcome back to today's video. Today is his 1 month of being born and we're super excited. We're going to do some pictures after we film this. So I've got him all dressed up and ready to go. I cannot believe he's 1 month old. He has grown so much since he was born. He's already fitting into his 0 to 3 month clothes. And it literally happened overnight. Like, he was swimming in this outfit like a week and a half ago, and then all of a sudden I put him in it today and he barely fits in it. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have to let him be in this outfit for a while, get some cute pictures because he's gonna grow out of it any minute now. So today's video I'm going to be sharing my birth story. So you guys obviously saw the birth vlog, but you didn't get to see everything that went on during labor and delivery, as well as like before and maybe even some stuff after. So we're just going to talk about that today. So it was Thursday, July 12th, and I was 2 days past my due date. I was convinced he was never coming because we all thought that he was going to come early. So everyone was placing bets that he was going to come at the end of June or on the 4th of July, because that was like the one day that I said I didn't want him to be born because I wanted him to have his own birthday and his own day. But he ended up getting, so it was Thursday, July 13th, and it was literally like 6 a.m. on the dot. I woke up and was having a contraction. I was like, oh my gosh, I think that today might be the day. So I'd been having contractions on and off for weeks, and I was not dilating at all. I had stayed a 0, and at my doctor's appointment that Monday, she checked me and I was like half a centimeter. And then I went back on Wednesday, since I was over my due date at that point. I went back on Wednesday. We're just gonna sleep through this, huh? I went back on Wednesday and was still the same. Nothing had changed. So obviously changes can happen at any point, and obviously they did. So Thursday morning I woke up, was having contractions, and I knew that these ones were different. It was like they were coming close together, they were painful, and I was convinced that it was the day. So I told Matthew, you know, go to work, get as much work in as you can. That way, just in case today's not it or whatever, you know, you're not taking time off that you don't need to be, so that you can have as much time as possible once he's here. So Matthew went to work that day, and I stayed home, was having contractions all day, and it was so hard because we had decided not to tell anyone until we were admitted into the hospital. And so I literally sat at home by myself all day, and like the day before I had almost texted and asked my mom if she wanted to go get her nails done that day. So good thing that I didn't, because well, then I would have had to tell her, which wouldn't have been a big deal. But anyway, so he went to work and I just stayed home and just kind of got through the contractions, hung out, ate, got some stuff done around the house, cleaned up as much as I could, and tried to rest as much as I could, because I knew that if this was it, that I needed to get all the rest I could so that I would have energy to give birth. And so around, I forget what time I told him, but I told him to come home between like 2:30 and 3 or so, and he didn't end up getting home until like 4. So he got home around like 4, and he cleaned up a little bit, did like some last minute things, got everything packed up that wasn't already in the car. So we did have the car pretty packed up before, and so we just got like little last minute things, and we were on our way. And so at that point my contractions were pretty close together. I had called the doctor. She had given me the okay to go into the hospital, and I had been having contractions consistently for 3 hours and then not consistently since like 6 a.m. We headed to the hospital, and on our way to the hospital, you guys saw in the birth vlog that there was so much traffic. So it turned out that, don't mind my cat, and if you see my dog, she's also sitting here with me, but they're just gonna be in for the video. And so there was so much traffic and we could not figure out why. And finally we got to where there were problems, and there was like a semi turned over on the side of the road with a car underneath of it, and then another car on our side of the road. And so they were stopping traffic on both sides. Obviously that side, the other side of the road was way more backed up than our side was, because once we actually got past it, we were good to go. But for the other side of the road, it looked like they had been there for a while, because there was like a lady on the side of the road like doing yoga, and people out of their cars talking to each other and stuff. So looked like they had been stopped for a while. I never did find out what happened. Hopefully everyone was okay. But yeah, so luckily we got through it and got to the hospital. And once we got there, we checked in and we went to triage first, which is just kind of the room where they monitor you for a little bit before they actually decide to admit you. Once we were in triage, a doctor came in and checked me, and I was at 3 centimeters. And he said, you know, we don't usually like to admit people until 4 centimeters, so we're gonna have you stay for an hour and see how you do, and we may or may not decide to admit you. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I know I'm having this baby today. I know for sure this is real. This is not like some phony labor, false labor, whatever. Like I know that it's happening. So we stayed in triage and kind of walked around for a little bit. They were monitoring me and the baby, and I walked around as much as I could before it became uncomfortable. And about an hour later, they came back and checked me, and I had dilated 204. So they went ahead and admitted me into the hospital, and I was super excited, and I don't remember feeling nervous at all. I was just excited and ready and just wanted to have him here. So we got down to labor and delivery, and the nurse was super sweet. She got everything for us. Basically, that's where labor started. So I tried to stay as mobile as possible, just to help things kind of go a little bit faster and move things along. But it did get pretty hard for me to actually walk around and be mobile. So they had Bluetooth monitors so that I didn't have to be attached to something the whole time, which was super nice. So I was able to get into our birthing tub and also use like the shower and then walk around the hallways and stuff. That was super nice that they had that available. So I have been laboring for, I really couldn't even tell you what time it was or hours or how long it had been or anything. So I used the tub once I got in it and then got out. I did not get back in. And then I got in the shower a couple times and just had Matthew run the water on my back, which helped a lot with the labor pains. So I've had some questions about like, how did you get through it doing all natural, and how did you deal with the pain? Basically, I just tried not to focus on it. I tried to breathe through all the contractions. They said that the nurses told me that if I, breathe really hard through the contractions and really focus on it, that it would help with the pain. I definitely feel like it helped a lot with the pain, so that was super nice. And just like really taking it one contraction at a time just to try and get through it. Also, doing natural labor, it's really important to have someone there that's supportive. I will say once I got to the transition phase, which was 7 centimeters, well, first of all, it took me what felt like forever to get there, because he kept coming and checking me, and I hadn't dilated, and I was like, oh my gosh, or I just dilated a little bit, and I really thought that like things were moving much faster. But I think since I had kind of like slowed down on moving, that really like my contractions were not being as effective in dilating. So I'd recommend, if you can, to be as active as possible, change positions. My nurse kept kind of trying to push me to do it, and I would try, and it just was uncomfortable. It was more comfortable for me to be in the bed. So once I got to 7 centimeters, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I want an epidural, because in my head I was like, it's just like the weirdest thing, because you're in so much pain for however long, and then all of a sudden it's over and you can talk like normal. You feel 100% normal again, and it's just so weird. So I got to the point, that transition stage, which is 7 centimeters to 10. And then it's considered like the most painful part in labor. And I was like, I want to do an epidural. I can't do this anymore, because I knew that in my head I was like, as soon as I get it, all of this is gonna go away. I can rest. It will be over, because at this point it was like the middle of the night. So my nurse, she said, I know you want to do this all natural, and you've made it this far, so why don't we try just doing the nitrous oxide? So I said, okay, we'll try it. And you know, I got the information about it first. So with the nitrous, it doesn't go to the baby at all, and basically you can have it when you want it and not have it when you don't. So it pretty much, you put it on, the mask on your face, and you breathe it in for a few seconds, and if you don't want it anymore, you just simply like take the mask off and breathe normally for like 5 to 10 seconds, and you don't feel it anymore. So I liked that, and it didn't stop the pain completely. It just kind of like curbed it a little bit, and just helped get through it. So when I first got it and tried it for the first contraction that I had it, I did it, and I was like, this is stupid, it doesn't work, I don't want it, like I want an epidural, I want this over, I'm done. So our nurse was going to get the paperwork for me to sign to do the epidural. Matthew was like, I think you can do this, why don't you try doing the nitrous one more time, and just like really focus on breathing and letting it help you and all of that. So I tried it again, and it helped a little bit. It didn't help a lot. And I was like, okay, you know what? I can do this. I'm almost there. I made it this far. This is what I want to do, so we're gonna do it. It can't last much longer. So it was really nice to have that support from him, and knowing that he believed in me, and that helped a lot to know that I could do it. So using the nitrous for pretty much the rest of the time, it definitely helped curb it, but like I said, I still felt everything. I was really glad that I had it. I think I could have done it without it, and I think next time I will definitely try to do it without it. Part of the problem I was having was that he was so low that he was pushing like on my bum, and there was so much pressure that whole time that I was just so uncomfortable. So I was uncomfortable from that the entire time, and then on top of that was having contractions. It was just like super uncomfortable. So like the nitrous didn't help at all with that pressure, and at that point it was a lot because my water hadn't broke, although I think it broke shortly after. And then I mean, he was just like pushing on me so hard. So I had that pretty much the entire labor. So it just really intensified everything a lot. I feel like had I not had that pressure, I feel like I could have done it without anything at all. But you know, it is what it is. I don't even know what time it was. It must have been around like 3:30 because he was born at 3:37. So must have been around like 3:30. Probably a little before that. Like 3:25, the doctor came in and checked me. And I was at 10. So the doctor had just come in and checked me, and I was at 9. And then I was like, I don't know how long it had been, but then I was like, he came in and checked me, and they weren't expecting me to already be out of 10. And I was out of 10, and so my doctor was on her way, and then the doctor that I had been working with that works with my doctor was in there, and they had called NICU in, and my doctor had come in, and everyone was kind of rushing around a little bit because they weren't prepared, I guess, for it to go so fast. So NICU had come in because he had a bowel movement while he was in me, and luckily did not end up affecting him at all, but NICU just went ahead and came in just to make sure everything was okay. And then the doctors were there, and I pushed for 10 minutes, and out he came. I know that I was pushing, and they would tell you to stop, and on the very last one, did you just want to talk? Did you want to tell him your story? Yeah. On the very last one, when I could feel that he was so close to being out, and they were all telling me that he was so close to being out, I just kept pushing. I was like, I'm not gonna stop, I can keep going, and out he came. Out you came the rest of the way. It was super exciting. So then they took him over to NICU really quick and brought him over to me, and it was honestly just like the best moment ever, just seeing him and holding him for the first time. We got a lot of skin to skin in. We had 2 full hours uninterrupted of skin to skin after birth, and then obviously lots more once we moved up to recovery or postpartum or whatever they call it. And so once we got up to postpartum, we kind of had a lot of people in and out the whole time. So I did not end up going to sleep until like 9 a.m. then on Friday the 13th. And so I'd been up from 6 a.m. Thursday till 9 a.m. and only got like 3 hours of sleep on Thursday because I was up going to the bathroom and just could not sleep at all on Thursday night. And so then at 6 when I woke up, I was up for the day, and then did not sleep until after I had him at like 9 o'clock in the morning. So it was a long day for me, but it was all so worth it. And we are so grateful that he's here and healthy and happy. And I can't wait to share with you guys his 1 month update. I think I'm going to film it next week after his doctor's appointment, so that way we can get his updated weight and length and everything in there too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.